It's night prime time. Prime time night? Prime night time? Nighty night prime? I don't know.
Hey! What's up, my peoples? EmGo here, the freaking geek himself, and today we will be reviewing the Toyworld Knight Orion. So here we are, and there he is. And first and foremost, as always, we'll take a quick look at the packaging. As you can see, it's a very, very large box. You have a nice piece of artwork there of Knight Orion Tactics waistcoat, because that's just what they put on the box now. Deluxe edition Tactics waistcoat. On this side of the box we have Tactics waistcoat. On the other side, Tactics waistcoat. On this side, Tactics waistcoat. On the top, Tactics waistcoat. On the back of the box, the same exact image as on the front of the box. And that's basically it for the packaging. And moving right along, here we have Knight Orion, and this is Toyworld's take on the last Knight Optimus Prime. And here he is in his truck mode, and despite what others have said, it is possible to get the truck mode together. As you can see, it's not fun, not disputing that, not arguing that, not fun at all, but it's doable. It's totally possible to get everything together and sitting the way it is supposed to sit. So not the impossible feat. But let's get in closer here so we can take a look at the details. You have the front grille done in a nice kind of dull silver. A lot of nice weathering going on with this figure. So definitely kudos to the paintwork. You can see a nice flame job on it. It looks really good. The paintwork on this figure is amazing. Looks great. Not a fun figure, but looks great. I feel like I've been saying that a lot about third-party toys lately. Looks great, not fun, but you can see the hubcaps there, that nice silver. And again, you got that nice weathering going on there. Just making things look a little dingy, a little dirty. Oh no, pretty cool. Get some more of those flames there. Some more of that silver. Even the tires themselves have weathering on them. They have like some dirt and grime kind of built up in there. You see the back, the smokestacks. They have a nice effect going on there. Nice heat effect. And got some nice metallic blues going on in there as well. You can kind of see its feet just kind of folded up back there. In the back, again, none of the lights are picked out in paint, but still, you got that nice weathering effect going on there. But yeah. And very quickly, there is the top, there is the bottom. You can kind of see how everything needs to go. You have big rubber tires, and he does roll, as rolling things should. Hooray for rolling things. And for comparison, here he is with the MPM Optimus Prime. You can see in truck mode, he's pretty much MPM sized. And here he is with the Unique Toys version of this iteration of Prime. So you can see how that works out. So, there you go. So yeah, that is basically it for the truck mode. Looks really good. Beautiful looking truck mode, very nicely done. But the fun factor is where this figure suffers immensely. Okay, one thing that does irk me a little bit about the truck mode is that the, you can see the headlights are molded in, but they didn't paint them. I don't know why. They should have painted them. Granted, you could do that yourself if you wanted to, but still. But, yeah, all in all though, great looking truck mode. Very nicely done, but, yeah, that is pretty much it for the truck mode. You do get a bunch of accessories with this figure, but they're all for robot mode, so we'll just get to those when we get to robot mode. So, yeah, without further ado, let's get down to transformation, shall we? I can't spin him, he has big rubber tires, but let's go. Let's take a big, deep breath. Okay. Let's go! Let's do this! I gotta get pumped up for this, because this is gonna be an ordeal. Granted, getting him into robot mode is not as hard as getting him into truck mode. Getting him into truck mode is definitely a chore. Getting him into robot mode is a little bit easier, but we'll get through it. We'll get through it. Okay, so first thing we want to do is we just want to kind of raise this up, get these panels up. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? There he is. Got some visible head syndrome there once you undo all that. But kind of undo those. You want to come here. You want to pop open these sections here. You can see there are 2 tabs that go in here, holding all that in place. So just kind of get under there and just kind of pop all this up. It's a very tight connection. Do it on the other side here. Just get this popped up. There we go. So undo all that. Split this whole back section here. This will become his legs. So there's a lot of connection points here. You have a tab that goes into these tanks. You also have a post. I don't know if you can see. There's a post that goes up in here, and there's also this section that tabs in here. So you have 3 separate points of connection here, and you kind of have to undo. Sometimes they come undone easily. Sometimes you have to work with it. And that time it came undone easily. Thank you. Thank you for working with me. And just try to do something on the other side. Just try to get everything kind of wiggled out and untabbed. And there we go. Okay. Get all that cleared. That can stay there for now. And there we go. Now, one thing I have to mention is I did break a tab. I broke a little tab that was here. It's a useless tab, so you're not going to miss it. So I did break a tab on this side. And there's a tab I cut off because it's pointless, it's useless, and it doesn't work anyway. So there's a tab I also cut off. But we'll get to that when we get to that. So once you get that undone, we want to start undoing this right here. So there's a little section here. It just tabs in. Undo that, and then this section here kind of tabs into this panel in here. You can't really see it, but you just have to undo a bunch of tabs. Just undo a bunch of stuff. Kind of get all that unwiggled as best you can. So get all that undone. So basically, you're just gonna get all this wiggled out. You basically want to push this in because this section right here kind of hooks into this. So just kind of push it in, kind of get it all wiggled, and you can see that little tab right there. That's the tab I broke on the other side. It's a useless tab. It really doesn't. This is a straight panel, so there's no alignment issues anyway. So with that gone, it doesn't affect anything. So you know, I might just cut that one off just for the sake of symmetry. But there are some kind of useless tabs on this thing, to be perfectly honest. So once you get that undone, now we can, you want to get this panel, bring all this up actually, bring all this up, and take this little panel, flip that out, and then we can swing all this around, like that. So, at this point what we're going to do is we're going to take this section here, all this will just come up, and you're just going to kind of flatten this out, and then all this will just swing around, like that, and then you can swing this up the rest of the way. Like so. And here, you want to grab his foot, just take it, just bring it down, flip out his toe, take this, flip it around and under, like so. Then you want to take this section here, just bring this out a little bit, so you have the clearance, and just swing all this around so it sits like that. This panel right here, you want to pop up, like so. And then you are going to just take all this, and this will compress on a big double hinge, and shift all this in, and hopefully everything will go where it needs to go, and work with me. There we go. Hey, it kind of worked with me. Cool, cool, cool. Kind of bring the foot up, and this will just tab in right there, and then this panel will just snap into place there, and this panel just comes down right there, and you can take this panel and just fold that down like that. So there we go. Second verse, guess what, is just like the first. You know what, I'm not even going to cut this out. I'm going to make you watch this whole process, because if I have to go through it, you're going to go through it. Normally I would cut this out for the sake of time, but I'm not going to do it. Not going to do it. I'll make you watch every second of it. You're going to skip through it anyway. It doesn't matter, but still. Let's bring all that around. Put down the toe, flip this around, undo that, and okay, now we need to do all this. I should have done all this first, but it's okay. Same process, doesn't matter. So again, just bring all this down and clear all this. Bring this out, swing this around, and just kind of bring all this out, flatten that out, bring all this up. Swing it in. There we go. And then just collapse all this up. Like this. Come on. There we go. That. Again, that will just tab in right there. Bring that down, bring that down. Snap that into place. And there we go. Now we have a weird truck with legs thing going on here. Now let's talk about the tab that I cut off because it's totally useless and it doesn't work anyway. There's a tab right here on his butt. Well, it was right there, and it's supposed to tab into this little slot right here, and it didn't work. I was shaving the tab, I was shaving the slot, and I still couldn't make it go where it needed to go. I ended up just cutting it off. It's pointless, it's useless, it doesn't even work anyway, so I just cut it off. And, you know, it just makes all this sit more flush like it's supposed to. Now, granted, even when the tab was there, you can still get all this together. Again, it's a tab, it affects nothing. So getting rid of it affects nothing. It being there affects nothing. But honestly, if you get rid of the tab, it will make this sit a little bit more flush. And if you leave it there, like the smokestacks will just kind of angle back a little bit. So, you know, aesthetically, it doesn't affect anything drastically, but up to you what you want to do. I just cut that tab off because it's really kind of a pointless connection that didn't work anyway. But, okay. So let's continue on. So what you're going to do with the legs now is you're going to take this big double hinge here. So you got to rock this around, bring it around to the other side, and that all should snap into place. And you have a little section here. The knee just kind of tabs in right there to kind of hold all that in place. Hit this panel, bring that back like that. Same thing on the other side. Let's take this and just rock it, rock it, rock it, rock it. That will snap into place. And then just bring in that little kneecap section, tab that in, hit this panel, bring that back, and there you go. And now we have achieved Gertruck. That's right, Gertruck. Even has a head. Why not? Dare I say why not? Okay. So now, now that we got him standing, oops, let me get his feet in the right place. There we go. Make sure his feeties are in the right place. There we go. That's a nice Gertruck. Okay. Okay, Gertruck. Okay. So, now what we're going to do is we're going to bring this up, get this out of the way. We're going to take this panel here. We're going to pop that out. And this section right here will shift down. And we're just going to fold all this up. So fold this back, fold this forward, like so. And you're going to bring this hinge forward like so. And all that will just sit right there. And you can just collapse this in like that. Same thing on the other side. Just undo all of this. Bring that down. Collapse all this back. Collapse all this forward. Again, bring that big silver hinge forward, collapse it in, and there we go. So we got all that working. Alright, so now, come on Gertruck, come on Gertruck, stand for me Gertruck, be my friend Gertruck. He doesn't want to be my friend anymore. Okay, now he wants to be my friend. Thank you for being a friend. Alrighty, he's like a golden girl. Thank you for being a friend. Alright. I gotta laugh so I don't cry through this process, okay? Cut me some slack! Alright, so now that we are here, now it's time to do what is the hardest part of this transformation, is this whole front part of the cab. This is really the pain in the butt part of this transformation. Is getting, when you're going into truck mode, getting all this together is a pain in the butt. Getting it all undone is not so much a pain in the butt, but still a pain in the butt because clearance is at a bare minimum here, or just non-existent. So we can bring all this up here, just to kind of, actually I'll leave it like this and just do that. I feel that's the better way. Alright, so we're going to just undo all this, get this front grille, just pop all this forward, and just kind of start bringing things out. Kind of unclip these sections. It all actually comes apart pretty easily. So undo that, and then you just kind of want to use double hinges here. You kind of want to rock these sections down. Rock these sections down. You can see how the forearms are supposed to sit. The forearms have to sit flush with each other, as well as the his upper arms tabbed together. And you want these forearms sitting flush like that. If that's not together, none of this lines up, and it knocks everything out of whack. That's one thing about this figure. When one thing's knocked out of whack, it knocks everything out of whack, and then you have no whack whatsoever, and nothing will come together. So you have to make sure everything is in proper whack. But okay, so now that we've done that, you want to take these sections here. Actually, it helps if you just grab this whole nose section and just kind of pull it forward like that. And then you can grab these door sections and they just come up on a double hinge. So again, just kind of pull that forward and just kind of bring that up on that double hinge. And once we've done that, we can just split this whole section here. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Okay. So what we need to do here is we need to get the arms freed up. So this part is kind of not easy, but you kind of just want to kind of angle this up. You want to angle this down. These sections do rotate, so kind of angle this down, and then just kind of swing it, swing this section out. And that should give you the clearance you need to get everything out. And that should swing right out. There you go. And one thing you want to note, when you're going into truck mode, you see this little armature here? You want to make sure that both armatures are sitting in this little groove in here. So you want those sitting right in there like that. Again, if that's not where it's supposed to be, none of it's going to line up and you're going to have a hard time. So make sure those are going right where they're supposed to be. Again, not easy to do, but it's doable. So you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Just kind of bring the section forward, kind of angle it up a little bit, angle this nose section up a little bit, and you should be able to just kind of swing that right out. It's a lot easier to undo than it is to get it all together. So there we go. Now he's just all exploded now. So now, what can we do? I want to readjust the camera. You stay. You stay because it's normal, even though none of this is normal. Okay. So what we're going to do now, we're going to take this windshield section. We're just going to bring this down like that. And we can rotate these again so we have a little bit more room to work with. There we go. So at this point now, kind of want to get the shoulder pads kind of undone a little bit here. And then the arms are going to swing forward like so, and then the shoulders will rock up and they'll just swoop into place. Rock those shoulders up, swoop into place. There you go. You just kind of get those arms up and out of the way. You want to take the windshields here. Those will just swing back like that. And we're getting places. We are getting places, peoples. We're getting places. Alright, so now that we've done all that, you kind of straighten these out, and this entire assembly here is going to rotate 180, like so. And now we're going to work on what will be his chestial and bellial region. So we want to rotate all this around, and again, just kind of swing all this around as best you can. Again, clearance is really at a bare minimum, next to non-existent, in some cases non-existent, but all this is just going to swing up like this, and you kind of want things sitting like so. So once you've done that, we can start working on all of this right here. So you want to take this will just swing around and sit under. There's a little tab for it that goes up in here, so just get that lined up, bring that panel down, and then what we're going to do here is all this will just kind of straighten out, and this will swing around, bring the section down. You can flip this little bit in, flip this up. All this will collapse up. You see there's a little divot in there for it to go into. You can also take this and rotate this, bring it down like that, and just bring that up, and that should just clippity clip in place. There you go, like that. You want to say like that, and then you just bring this back, and all this should sit like so. And you want that sitting like that. And we got that done. There we go. That wasn't such a chore now, was it? It kind of was, but anyway. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Second verse, just like the first. So again, just work with these hinges as best you can and get all this swung around. And pray to the gods that things go where they're supposed to go. There we go. Nope, I don't think that went where it's supposed to go. Come on, I've prayed to the gods. There we go. Again, just bring all this around. This you can just swing around so it sits back there where it's supposed to. And bring all this around. Is this not going into its home? No, it is in its home. It just wants to be a little douche, that's all. So, swing all this around, bring this up, and again, that should just go into its home, flip that in, flip that up, and all this should collapse up and sit there like so. Okay. So we got the chest drawer region all done, and now what we're going to do, actually before we get all this in place, let me do this section here, this section back here. This is going to be, as you can see, his head and his back heel region here. Let's get all this situated first. So you just kind of want to open these up here. The little shoulder pad pieces that are back here, you do kind of want to pull them out a little bit. Just kind of get up under here, slide these out some. So the head is, bring this forward. The head is going to just kind of push through this bit here, and again, this is why you want to bring these shoulder pads out a little bit so you have the clearance. So swing all that around like that. That'll sit there. Sometimes this whole assembly likes to pop out of this friction hinge. Hopefully it'll stay put. But smokestacks, this section of smokestack just undoes itself. Just kind of rotate that so you can swing it down. Rotate that so you can swing it down. And that should come down and around. Like that. And then these are going to slide down. And that will rotate in. Slide down. And rotate in, and these sections right here just kind of swing in, and that will open up, and that will just swing in, and that will open up. And the smokestack just kind of sits like that. We'll get all that situated once we get everything else together. But there we go. We got all that situated, so now we can just finish up with the upper body. Just want to get that done now, so hopefully it doesn't give us any problems later, because that is an earlier step. Okay, so now we got all that done. We got the chest done. So what we're doing here is we're going to bring all this down, make sure that these pieces here are clearing so we can get all this swung back like so. So all this is going to rock up on these double hinges, and you can see there are little slots that are going to go right up in here. So just get all this lined up, and something is not working with me for some reason. Come on. Get things situated here. Oh, I totally forgot to, okay, that's why things aren't working, because you're supposed to take the wheels here. They will pop down. Forgot to do that. There we go. Pop those wheels down. There we go. Now that will go into its home like that. There we go. I was wondering why that was colliding there, because I forgot to do that. There we go. So bring those wheels down so all that will compress in like so. You want to make sure this little silver piece here is angled up. So now you just want to bring the whole waist down, just angle that back, and that should snap into place. And this has a little hook tab that goes into the waist to further lock it, and this is a really tight joint, and you're probably going to need something to pop that into place, and I just use this, and that should just pop in right there. And that holds everything in place. So there we go. So we got that going on. We're going places. We are going places. Not a fun journey, but we're getting there. We're getting there. All right, so now take all of this. This will just collapse down like so. And now we can work on the armular region here. So we just bring the arm down and just rotate it like so. And we can get all this going. So you just want to bring his elbow pad back, open this up. You're going to take this panel here. This will just swing around on a double hinge and end up sitting up top like that. And then you're going to take this, bring it back, and then swing this around like so. Then you want to take the hand, you want to rotate it around and then bring it down like that. So you have the clearance to swing this around. Then you can take it. You want to leave it. Actually, now you can bring it around like that. This little panel also will just come down, and then all this will collapse in to the forearm, and these panels will clip together. There you go. Bring his elbow pad down. You bring the shoulder pad down, and there you have an arm all done. Second verse. Guess what? Just like the first. Bring that down. Rotate. You just want to open that up. Again, bring that elbow pad back. Take this. Swing this around. Bring this back. Swing this over. Again, take the hand. Just gotta rotate it around, bring it down so you can clear all this. Boop. And then swing all this around. Bring this little panel down. Bring all this back. Close all that up. And there you go. There you got his arms all done. Bring the shoulder pad down. There you go. We're at the home stretch. So now we're just going to make sure these are out of the way. You're going to take this whole backpack section here. There's a tab that goes right up in here. So just make sure you get things lined up the way they're supposed to be. And I believe it is. And all of that should... Oh, you want to take the shoulder pads. You want to bring these forward for clearance. So all this should come up and over. Oops. There we go. Well, that should come up and over. And there's a little hook tab that'll go right up into his belly and should lock everything in place. Of course, sometimes it fights you, sometimes it doesn't. This was fighting me when I was doing the JTI also, which is weird because sometimes it just goes right into place and sometimes something fights you and I don't know what. But I think I have everything where it should be. Because it really should just kind of go into place fairly easily. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. There we go. There we go. That time it wasn't a chore. When I was doing the JTI, this thing was fighting me. Oh, it was fighting me. Okay. So we got that done. Now we can bring his shoulder pads back out. You can also bring these neck pieces out. They just slide out. Slide those out as far as they will go. Oh, we have to take his pecs. We have to bring his pecs up. They're on a double hinge. Just kind of waggle them up. As best you can. This takes a good amount of wiggling. And it's a pretty stiff hinge too, which is kind of scary. But get those up, and they'll tab in right up in here. Sometimes you have to play with them to get them to stay put. But again, it's doable. And again, just take the other pec, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. There we go. And that should just go right in there. That'll come undone because it just wants to be a douche. There we go. Okay. So we're pretty much there. We're pretty much there. Just take his little ears here, rotate them up, and I think we're done. Are we done? No, things are popping out. You stay. And you stay also. Pecs. Don't fight me, Pecs. I am your lord and master, Pecs. Come on. There we go. Okay. I think we're done. Are we done? Please. Oh, no, we're not done, actually. We're not done yet. We got one more step to do here. So, just when I thought I was out, they pull me back in. Anyway. So these sections here, you can see there's a tab. It's going to go right up into a slot right there. So just line that up. And this is the last thing we're doing. That will go right up in there. And that will go right up in there. Like so. There we go. Get everything back in place, hopefully. This one peck. Why is this one boob fighting me? Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. There we go. I think we're done. We're done. We're done. There you have Knight Orion in his robots mode. And he looks great, but yeah, not a fun journey. Not a fun journey at all. It's just a lot. It's so much. It's so much, and there's clearance issues, and it's just, yeah, not a fun one. Not a fun one. Looks good. The end result looks awesome, but not fun in the least bit. But that's getting close here, so we can take a look not at his pecs, but at the noggin. There's the noggin. Yeah, you can see we got the nice Nemesis Prime face sculpt going on there with the red going down the side. But oh no, some nice detail there, some nice paintwork again. You got that weathering effect going on. So all in all, that looks quite good. Get lots of nice silver going on there. Some little accents of like a bronze. His flame pecs. You get some gold and like some coppers. Coloration going on in there. Again, looks quite good. More like cables on the legs. Okay, got some nice silvers there. Get some of those like Cybertronian. Get the Cybertronian lettering going down his legs. And again, you get the nice weathering effect going on. Here's big old feet. Back. I mean, it's a clean transformation. As not fun as it is, it's a clean transformation. Everything compacts up very well. The truck pretty much disappears, except for these pieces. These pieces just stick out, unfortunately. These have nowhere to go. But all in all, though, everything comes together very well. You can get some gold back there as well. Now, I did have some pins fall out of this figure when I was messing with it. There were pins right up in this hinge right here. The pin that goes through this hinge right here on both sides just fell right out as I was messing with it the first time. I just put the pins back in and put a dab of super glue over them to seal them in. Those aren't falling out again. So yeah, some pins do fall out of this toy, which again is unfortunate, but you can do something about it. But oh no, though, it looks great. It looks great. Just wish it was better engineered to make it more fun. But anyway. Now, articulation-wise, the head can rotate. It can't do a full 360 because you have these neck pieces that get in the way, but I mean, it rotates as much as I guess the head needs to move. It can look up to a kind of disturbing degree. Things just kind of look, you know, totally disjointed when you do that, but you can totally look up and go, squirrel, you can totally do that. Can't really look down, but upward you have plenty of it. Arms, if you move the shoulder pads out of the way. The arms can do a full 360 if you work around the shoulder pads. Can move in and out. Of course, once you start moving things, it starts undoing things, which is annoying. But you can see that shoulder pad has multiple hinges there, so you can kind of get that out of the way as you need to. You have bicep rotation, which is quite tight on mine. As far as the elbows go, you get about slightly over 90 degrees of elbow bend. The wrists do rotate. They can move inward if you need them to. The hands are kind of posable. And the joints are very stiff as well. The index finger is a separate piece on a hinge here and a hinge here, and the other three fingers are just one piece with the hinge at the base. So at least you can get a good point going on if you want to. Now, as far as the waist, you do have waist rotation. You want to make sure also that the waist is clicked forward a bit. It clicks back for vehicle mode. Make sure it's clicked forward for robot mode. But you do get some waist rotation. Stuff kind of collides, though, as you do that. So, you know, just be careful. Legs, these pieces can move out of the way. Legs can move forward really only about that far back. You're only going to get back about that far outward. That's pretty much as far as you're going to get. You got thigh rotation. You do have 90 degrees of bend at the knee, and you'd have to make sure you're kind of holding onto the knee because this little tab here that holds on to that comes undone very easily. So kind of hold onto the knee to bend it. You can see some stuff gets revealed in there when you do that. As far as the feet go, they are on this big double hinge, so they can move up if you need them to, move down some. You do have some tiltage, a little bit of rotation, but yeah, it kind of undoes stuff. And you do have a toe joint if you need it as well. Alright, so now let's run through the accessories. You get a bunch of them with this guy. So if you don't want to use the posable hands, you do get some optional hands in some fixed poses. You get a pair of optional hands, that's what I call them. But you can say just splayed out, open hands. Got some nice paintwork going on there. Nice detailing. So you get two of those. You also get a pair of just open, relaxed hands you can use if you want to. And they just connect via a ball joint. You just pop these off, pop these on. So you have some optional hands if you want to use those. You also get some weaponry. You get his arm blade here. Again, done in silver with that nice weathering effect. You get that. You get his gun, which looks really cool. Really nicely done. Lots of nice paint apps there. Lots of detail going on. Very cool. Love the way that looks. So you get that if you want it. You also get his shield. Again, lots of nice paintwork going on there. Very cool. And then you have the other side. You do have the guns, which can extend. You just push this forward, and boop, that will just lock into place like that. You got those triple gun barrels there. If you want them, just pop that down, like so. So you get that. We'll show off how all this works in a little bit. And of course you get his sword, which looks quite nice. And again, some nice paint apps, nice detail going on. You get the Cybertronian lettering going down either side of the blade. Again, really nicely done. So you have that. And we also get this little clip here. That's going to be to hold the sword on his back. And again, we'll show off how this works in a little bit. And you also get this piece. I believe this is the round table. I believe it is anyway. I haven't watched the movie in a while. You can see again, nice detail going on here. Now this is made out of plastic, but underneath there are just 3 big chunks of die cast here to give it some weight, because this also serves as a stand. You can see there's a little slot there. And what you do is, you just set that down, and you can take the sword. It'll just sit right there. So you have a little stand for the sword if you want. Hey, it's an option, and as always, options are good. So first, let's show off the weapon storage. So you take the clip here, and this will just plug into this port right here on his back, like so. And you can rock it from side to side if you want to. And you just take the sword, it just slides right in. There you go. He has a sword on his back. You can also store the shield on his back. You have these sections here, which flip out, and these will hook over these sections right here. So you just line it up. And you just get that hooked on to either side, like so. And there you have everything on his back, if you want to. Now, as far as arming him up, if you want to give him the arm blade, you're just using these 2 tabs right here. They're going to go into these slots in his forearm. You can plug it on either side. It's totally up to you what you want to do. And that will just tab in, like that. There you go. Now he has his arm blade. If you want, you can give him a shield. Just make sure these are flipped down. Again, you have these 2 tabs, 2 slots in the forearm. And again, you can plug it on either arm, whatever you want to do. That just plugs right in like so. So you can have that going on. And of course, if you want to, you can give him the gun. You can pew pew bang bang, pew pew bang bang. He holds it kind of securely. Just get his fingers around it nice and tight. There you go. You can see there's a little bit of wobble in that ball joint in the wrist, but he does hold the gun pretty securely. I don't know if there's storage for the gun on his back. That I am not entirely sure about because the instructions don't say anything about it. I guess no, doesn't seem like it. I don't know. I don't know. The instructions don't say anything about that. The instructions suck anyway, so the instructions are really of no use. But we can do that, and of course we can give him his mighty sword. We'll take that out. Put that in. And just close his fingers around it. Oops. There you go. So you can slash, 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 and all of that good stuff. Right there. Let's get his fingers around it. There we go. Now we got him all nice and armed up and ready for battle. Now, as far as Prime's head goes, you have some options there. If you don't want the mouth plate, you can just lift up his face. You can pull this section down, rotate it, and just snap it back up into place, bring it down, and then you can have the mouth plateless face if you want to. Now, if you don't want the Nemesis Prime head, you do get a Nemesis-less face as well. Again, same amount of detail and paint work. Looks quite good, and you have that same face swapping gimmick there. Just pull that down, turn it around, so you can have the mouth plates or no mouth plates, whatever you want to do. And this just works via a friction hinge. You just pop the head off, pop the new one on. You can have Nemesis Prime or not Nemesis Prime, whatever you want to do there. Now, something you get with the deluxe version of this figure is the display base here. And you can see just done all in black. It does have the adjustable arm. You can bring it forward, back, up, down, all that good stuff. And it does have lights and sounds. Your on-off switch is right here. It does have a rechargeable battery in it, and there's your charging port. They also give you the charging cable for it, which is nice. And they also give you the plug, if you want to plug it into the wall and charge it that way. Very cool. And you also get a remote control for it as well. There's the remote. It takes one CR2032 battery. There is one already installed, and they give you an extra one, which is really nice of them. So you don't have to worry about the batteries. So first thing we'll do is we'll just turn this on. And how this works with Prime is, you can see there are these two tabs right here. They're going to go into these two slots in his butt, on either side of his butt. So just plugs right into the booty hole region of Prime, like so. Holds him nice and secure. And there you have Prime on the base. And that looks quite cool. And I don't know if you can see, but the lights already came on the thing. But you can see there are 4 lights on it, just some bright blue LEDs. You can angle those how you want. And the remote control controls the lights as well as the sounds. So button A controls the lights on this side, and button C controls the lights on this side. Again, I don't know how well you can see what's happening there, but you can see there. This controls those lights, and A controls these lights. So we'll turn all the lights on. You can see it looks a lot better when the lights are down, but due to all my bright lights, you can't really see the light that well. You get those lights going, and you also get a bunch of sound clips from Age of Extinction, and you use button B to activate those.
I'm just Captain! I can't get out of here.
And it just plays a bunch of sound clips.
They're not your property. They were my friends.
They were my friends.
Wait, let the crap before I drop a grenade down your throat. Try it. You be careful. Please pull it. Please do it.
You know what? To save us so much time.
Well, raise your hand if you're thoroughly disenchanted with our little pleasant Earth vacation. So there's the stowaways.
Oh, hey, what's with the gun?
Stop, hound, both of you. They've risked their lives for mine. We owe them. So there's been no sign of any others. No.
So yeah, it basically plays half the movie. I'm not going to play all the clips because we'll be here forever. It plays a lot of sound clips just ripped straight from the movie. If you don't want to use the remote control, there is basically like a little touchpad.
We're not your technology.
It's a little touchpad right up front. You tap it and it'll play the sounds as well.
Yeah, I went through that with Bumblebee.
Yeah, we all went through that with Bumblebee, but again, you get a lot of sounds. It plays through basically half the movie, but again, we're not going to go through all that. But still cool nonetheless. So, there you go. So, there you have that, and now for comparison. Here he is with the MPM Prime. It's my knockoff version, but it's the same figure. Here he is with the Toyworld Bumblebee Prime. Another poster child for fun figures. Sarcasm. Here he is with the Unique Toys Last Night Megatron, which is still one of my personal favorite figures. Love this guy. But just so you can see how that works out. And here he is with the Unique Toys Prime, so you can see how that works out. So, there you go! So there you have Knight Orion, and yeah, he's one of those. He's one of those, like I said earlier, I feel like I've been saying this a lot about third-party figures lately. He looks great, not fun, not fun. Just the engineering, like, he performs that black magic, but the engineering is just, it's not fun. It's one of those figures that doesn't know how to get out of its own way. This clearances are at a bare minimum to non-existence, so you're having to push things past things and flex things around, and that's just not fun and makes for just a frustrating time. And yeah, unfortunately, it fails miserably in the fun department. Looks great, but fails miserably in the fun department. So basically, it boils down to this. If you want something that's just going to be a display piece, something you're just going to put on the shelf and look pretty, go with the Toyworld. I think that's the way to go. But if you want something you're actually going to mess with and want to enjoy messing with, go with Unique Toys. That's my 2 cents on it. So there you go. Now, I picked this up from TF Source. I'll put a link to their site in the description down below so you can check that out. Of course, you can also get Transformers from BigBadToyStore.com. As always, linked in the description down below so you can check that out as well. You can also check out my third-party Transformers playlist for any reviews you may have missed. Also linked in the description down below so you can check that out as well. And I think that's it. So don't forget to check out EmGo's, check out Love Peace Paranormal, follow me on Twitter, all of that good stuff down in the description below, and I think that's pretty much all there is to say. So there is the Toyworld Knight Orion, and this is EmGo saying, remember, you don't stop playing because you grow old because you stop playing. Be geek! Be proud. Palm in your face. Get out of my way, Megatron. Don't make me kill you. You already killed me. Don't you remember? No! Oh, yeah! I totally ripped your head off. Yeah. No, that was a good time. Yeah, not so much for me, but I'm glad you remember it fondly. But anyway, I'm telling you to stay out of my way, or I will kill you. Oh yeah? Yeah! I'll come up with a scheme so diabolical that you'll probably still thwart it anyway, and I will end up losing. Why do I even bother? Oh, come on, Megatron, it's okay. Someday you might actually win one. Someday? Yeah, I guess. Do you want me to rip your head off again? Yeah, I'd really rather you didn't. Well, then, I don't know what else to do for you. Good talk. This relationship is weird yet normal on so many levels. Hope you're aware of that.